We are about to review every topic of AP World History. This is the only video you'll need to study for your AP exam. I'm going to go over all 9 units starting with Unit 1, the Global Tapestry. Unit 2, Networks of Exchange. Unit 3, Land-Based Empires. Unit 4, Transoceanic Interconnections. Unit 5, Revolutions. Unit 6, Consequences of Industrialization. Unit 7, Global Conflict. Unit 8, Cold War and Decolonization. Unit 9, Globalization. Here we go. Unit 1 is the world from 1200 to 1450. The big idea is that civilizations everywhere are developing in their own unique ways. Song China is running a sophisticated Confucian government with merit-based exams, and their economy is surging through innovations like champa rice and the Grand Canal. In the Islamic world, the Abbasid Caliphate is fragmented, so Turkic-led states like the Seljuks and Delhi Sultanates fill the void, while scholars at the House of Wisdom push forward math and science. In South and Southeast Asia, Hindu-Buddhist kingdoms are flourishing alongside devotional movements like the Bhakti. The Americas have the Mexican Empire and the Inca administrative state, while African kingdoms like the Great Zimbabwe and Ethiopia are expanding their reach. And then there's Europe, the outlier, politically fragmented under feudalism and economically dependent on serfdom and manorialism. Now we have some illustrative examples. These are not required to know in the AP, but they're good for outside information on essays. Here are the most important examples: Neo-Confucianism, champa rice, the House of Wisdom, the Bhakti movement, the Mexica, Great Zimbabwe, and feudalism. Moving on to Unit 2. Unit 2 is all about the trade networks that tie all these civilizations together. The Silk Roads grow through better commercial tools like the caravanserai and bills of exchange. The Mongol conquest create the Pax Mongolica, which makes long-distance trade safer than ever. Indian Ocean trade booms thanks to the compass and monsoon wind knowledge, enriching hubs like the Swahili coast city-states. Trans-Saharan trade expands over the Mali Empire and Mansa Musa. Travelers like Ibn Battuta document all of this exchange. But here's the catch. Those same routes also spread the bubonic plague, which wipes out about a third of Europe's population by the 1350s. Key examples for this unit include the caravanserai, Pax Mongolica, Swahili city-states, Mansa Musa, Ibn Battuta, and the Black Death. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, remember that we have free AP study guides in the descriptions below. We also offer elite college consulting with mentors from Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, and other top schools, only for interested students. Unit 3, the Gunpowder Empires, exists from 1450 to 1750. Ottomans, Safavids, Mughals, and the Qing. All 4 used gunpowder weapons to conquer huge territories, then govern through professional bureaucracies like the Ottoman Devshirme, tax structures like the Mughal Zamindars, and monumental architecture like Versailles. On the religious side, the Reformation splits Christianity, the Ottoman-Safavid rivalry deepens the Islamic Sunni-Shia divide, and Sikhism emerges in Punjab, where Hindu and Islamic traditions are interacting closely. Some must-knows for this unit include the Devshirme, Versailles, Zamindars, the Reformation, and Sikhism. In Unit 4, the hemispheres connect for good. Europeans take navigational tools from Islamic and Asian civilizations like the compass, astrolabe, and caravel. They use those to cross oceans. Portugal builds trading posts, Columbus sails in 1492, and the Columbian Exchange follows. Smallpox devastates indigenous populations, while potatoes, maize, and tobacco reshape diets worldwide. Not everyone welcomes the Europeans, though. Ming China and Tokugawa Japan both shut their doors. As empires expand, labor demand explodes. Chattel slavery and encomienda, indentured servitude, and the Incan Maida. Silver from Potosi flows through Manila to China and links the entire world economy. Joint stock companies like the Dutch East India Company finance everything. New social hierarchies form, the caste system in the Spanish Americas, and resistance is content from the Pueblo to Maroon Societies to Metacombs War. Important examples to note are the Portuguese trading post, Columbus, smallpox, potatoes and maize, Tokugawa Sakuku, and the Dutch East India Company. Plus the Potosi silver trade, mercantilism, the Pueblo Maroon Societies, caste system, and the Qing Q order. Moving on to Unit 5, which brings political revolution and industrialization at the same time. Enlightenment thinkers like Locke, Voltaire, and Rousseau promote natural rights and the social contract, which directly sparks the American, French, and Haitian revolutions, plus Bolivar's Latin American independence movements. Nationalism becomes a powerful force driving things like German and Italian unification. And reform movements push for abolition, expanded suffrage, and women's rights. The Seneca Falls Convention of 1848 is a key moment here. On the industrial side, Britain leads with coal, iron, and the factory system. Steam engines unlock fossil fuels, and rails and steamships connect the world. Industrialization spreads to Western Europe, the US, Russia, and Japan, where the Meiji Restoration is a deliberate push to modernize. Following Adam Smith's 1776 publication of The Wealth of Nations, the economy shifts from mercantilism to free trade capitalism. Workers push back through unions, and Marx's Communist Manifesto inspires socialist movements worldwide. Ottoman Tanzimat reforms try to keep up but face elite resistance. Important illustrative examples include Locke's social contract, the Haitian Revolution, Bolivar German-Italian unification, factory system, Indian textile decline, and the steam engine. You should also know the Meiji Restoration, Egyptian cotton, Adam Smith, Marx, Tanzimat reforms, and Seneca Falls. In Unit 6, industrialized nations use their power to build empires justified by social Darwinism and the civilizing mission. At the Berlin's Conference of 1884, Europeans carve up Africa with zero African input. Control shifts from private companies like Leopold's Congo to direct government rule. Resistance is everywhere. The Indian Rebellion of 1857, the Sokoto Caliphate, the Zulu Kingdom, plus religiously motivated rebellions like the Gosans and the Xhosa cattle killing. Colonies become raw material suppliers. Rubber, cotton, guano, diamonds, and the opium wars are the textbook case of economic imperialism forcing a country wide open. Migration transforms too. Irish move to the US, Indians get contracted as indentured laborers back in the Caribbean. Migrants build ethnic enclaves wherever they go, but receiving societies push back with laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act and the White Australia policy. Examples on screen include the Berlin Conference, Leopold's Congo, the Indian Rebellion of 1857, and the Sokoto Caliphate. You should also know about rubber and guano, opium wars, Indian indentured servitude, Irish migration, and the Chinese Exclusion Act in America. Unit 7 brings the 20th century's global conflicts. Old empires collapse, the Qing in 1911, Russia in 1917 bring the Bolsheviks to power, and the Mexican Revolution in 1910. World War I erupts from imperialist competition, tangled alliances, and nationalism, becoming the first world's total war. Propaganda, colonial mobilization, and devastating new weapons like machine guns and poison gas create years of trench warfare. The aftermath of World War I is deeply unstable. Colonies don't get independence, they become League of Nations mandates. Anti-imperial movements like the Indian National Congress grow. Then the Great Depression hits in 1929 and all the governments respond differently. Stalin has his 5-year plans, there's the New Deal in America, and fascism in Germany and Italy. That instability feeds directly into World War II, where Hitler rises through scapegoating, the atomic bomb changes warfare forever, and mass atrocities like the Holocaust and Armenian genocide define the era. Important examples to know are the Qing collapse, Mexican Revolution, alliance system, trench warfare, Great Depression, and Soviet 5-year plans. You should also consider League of Nations mandates, the Indian National Congress, rise of fascism, atomic bombings, the Holocaust, and the Armenian genocide. In Unit 8, Cold War and decolonization happened at the same time. The US and USSR split the world into opposing camps, NATO versus Warsaw Pact, and fight through proxy wars in Korea, Vietnam, Angola, and Nicaragua. The non-aligned movement under Nehru and Sukarno tries to stay neutral. Meanwhile, Mao's communist revolution takes China in 1949, and the great leap forward that follows is absolutely catastrophic. European empires fall apart as nationalist leaders push for independence. Some negotiate it like India in 1947, others fight for it like Algeria against France. But even peaceful transitions come with consequences. India's partition kills 1 to 2 million people. Leaders like Gandhi, Nkrumah, and Nasser build new states, and resistance splits between non-violence under Gandhi, MLK, and Mandela. The Cold War ends when the Soviet Union collapses in 1991 due to economic failure, Afghanistan, and internal pressure for reform. Important examples to know for the Cold War, NATO versus the Warsaw Pact, the non-aligned movement, Korean War, Angolan Civil War, and Mao's Great Leap Forward. You should also consider Indian independence, the Algerian War, Nasser's Egypt, Gandhi, MLK, and Mandela, and the shining path in the Soviet collapse. The last unit is Unit 9, Globalization. Technological innovations shrink the world. The Green Revolution and medical breakthroughs sustain a growing population. Birth control drops fertility rates. Challenges remain, though. Diseases like HIV and AIDS and Ebola expose global health gaps, and environmental problems like deforestation and climate change keep intensifying. After the Cold War, most governments lean into free market economics. Deng Xiaoping opens China, WTO formalizes trade rules, manufacturing shifts to Asia and Latin America. The UN issues the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and rights movements challenge old inequalities. Culture goes fully global, Bollywood, the World Cup, Coca-Cola, but not without pushback from anti-WTO protests to locally built platforms like Weibo in China. Examples to know include the Green Revolution, the Internet, HIV/AIDS, 1918 flu, climate change, Deng Xiaoping's reforms, and the WTO. Also, there's the end of apartheid, UN Declaration of Human Rights, Bollywood, World Cup, anti-WTO activism, Weibo, and the United Nations. And that is every unit of AP World History Modern, every topic and every key concept in 10 minutes. If this helped you, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Again, we've got full-length review videos for every single unit plus free study guides linked in the description. Good luck on your exam.